All right, hey Dragon's Lair. Welcome into another What Are We Reading Wednesday. Today we got me and Rob. I know Elizabeth isn't going to be here today, but
Yes, Elizabeth's not here today, so that means she gives up her bunny mask number 1, is it?
let me here
No.
fix that.
Is this number 1?
Yes, that's number 1. It's the ambassador.
Bunny mask number 1, special... I think it's backwards. Special cover that we got from our Aftershock rep, and I've claimed it. So Elizabeth gets nothing.
We should always steal mine.
She's kind of boss, too. She might do that. So I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but we did read 3 other books for today. One of my goals for this today, since I don't do a lot of these, I'm usually stuck in the back. I'm usually stuck directly behind this wall, doing stuff like payroll and ordering and things like that, and making sure we have stock and planning for growth. And I'm trying to read more comics, though.
Trying to make.
I'm also desperately trying to lose more weight. My face just looks so. This is kind of angled up.
It's a camera.
So,
well, it's angled down.
no, it's not. Look at this.
The camera's pointing down.
Look, dude, this is my face, and here's there's where the camera is. So it's going up. Anyway, I think I look fat. Not happy about that.
Welcome to the club.
Despite the fact that Christine and I are doing all kinds of working out.
So, which one do you want to talk about first?
Okay, so this week we read Parasomnia, Captain America, the United States of Captain America #1, and Electric Black. And I guess this is it's a good combination of things to read because it's something we really liked, something that was and something we thought was hot wet garbage. So what do you want to start with? Let's start with the one we liked.
Okay, yeah.
And you go ahead and you tell everything you want to tell me.
About Parasomnia?
Yeah, about Parasomnia. Parasomnia was the one we really enjoyed. This is the cover of Parasomnia #1. And
It's the first thing to notice about it is that it's set between the main comic is set between I guess 2 different times or 2 different.
You could say times
places.
or worlds.
One, I feel like it might be a dream considering what it says at the end of the book. But it's about 2 guys at 2 different points, both looking for their kid. One is kind of just a homeless drunk.
Dude, I think it's the same guy.
Is it?
I think it's the same guy.
But then we get
In 2 different.
Let's get to the end first because there's something to show at that later. But one's just a homeless drunk trying to find his lost kid just in the city that he absolutely cannot find.
It's a lost kid.
It's his kid.
Do we know?
Well, because of what it says at the end. So here.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it has that's the old homeless man. That's somebody we have not seen yet. The comic under him in the reflection.
Which page is it?
The last one. And then.
That looked like a Native American.
And it's in a twisted dream world. A nameless stranger battles nightmares in his hunt for his missing son.
Okay, that's right.
Well, in the waking world, the boy's parents find their lives falling apart under the onslaught of hopelessness and insidious cultists. So it keeps jumping through between, again, the main homeless man who just wants to find his kid, between just some unknown stranger that just mows people down as he's on a hunt. Very much for this one kid he's trying to find.
So we have this homeless man that's living under a bridge, and these younger toughs, if you will, come to evict him and say that he's not welcome there. And while he's being beaten up, you kind of flash back, forward, sideways to this man with a jaunty hat. And the man with the jaunty hat is beating the shinola out of some, again, toughs that are accosting him on the road as he is searching for this boy, this missing boy. And he's asking the toughs before he kills them all off. I hear they're holding a boy at the
Village.
town up the road here. And when he finally comes to find the boy is kind of a metal construct a la Pinocchio. And so there's you flash back and forward between, I guess, current day modern city and whatever this other world is, where there are zombies and magic and things like that. So this is the boy that's missing in the modern world, and you get the idea that this may be this guy's son. but there's still a lot that's left unsaid. And in the end, right at the end of the book, you find this boy. He's in a trailer park with, I guess, his mom, maybe, because the homeless guy looks so much older than this woman.
Do not want to
have this woman here.
Well, the homeless man doesn't necessarily seem that old because of the color and the art. It could just look like
he has
old gruff and beard.
He has a huge white beard. As the purveyor of a white beard, that comes with age. And his hair is white.
My first thought ends up being that this is his wife earlier in the comic, because we get just a few quick panels of a lady who's picking up a box from some mail that got mixed up with somebody else. We don't know. I could assume it's belongings of the missing kid, because as she sees a homeless person walking, she starts to cry, which maybe could be the father.
There's a lot of unknowns right now. In fact, if you read that last panel of the book that Josh already spoiled or alluded to...
You kept asking questions. You wouldn't let me allude.
You went right to this. Onslaught of hopelessness and insidious cultists. See, when you finally do see the boy in the trailer park, all the people are greeting this young woman by saying, "Oh, blessings, blessings." That sounds very cult-like to me.
Yeah,
and she has the boy. The boy's in a bed, tube up his nose, IV bags hanging, monitors, and you don't know what's going on. The
boy's definitely connected to the puppet, because the puppet looks similar to him.
You think?
Well, you know what? I guess that's what the speculation's for, the second issue.
Okay. So, I know I've said this about books in the past, but it really did kind of plant that seed where I want to know more and I want to keep reading it. The artwork in it is really interesting. At first it kind of put me off because it's kind of a minimalist art. You don't have a lot of
nice,
detail to the faces, etc. But it's got kind of a watercolor look to it. And it makes really cool use of negative space where there's any kind of smoke effect. So I'm having a hard time finding something. There you go. So here's an example of what I think is a use of negative space down here where someone's smoking. There's just doesn't even try to draw smoke. It's just basically an absence of any other color or drawing. So I found that effect really interesting, and the way that the artist portrays light here in this well-lit tavern kind of thing, I thought was super cool. So the art really, it grew on me, and I'm a fan of it now. I liked the book a lot, and I will be picking it up going forward. This one was written by Colin Bunn. He's a very prolific writer. He's done a lot of stuff here recently. So much so that some people that I know have conjectured, if that's a verb, have asked whether or not Colin Bunn is actually a construct of multiple people, kind of like 1,000 monkeys using 1,000 typewriters to write War and Peace.
I think comic writers have a John Smithy.
John Smithy?
That wasn't as an alias movie directors used to use when they no longer wanted to be associated with directing a movie.
I don't know, but I need more coffee, so you can start with this one, and I'm going to go get my coffee, which is right there.
All right, go ahead. So I know Rob's going to have a bit more to say about the art in this one, Electric Black. It's a very sort of sketchy kind of art, where it's meant to be lots of lines, it's kind of rough, quick draws through. But the main concept for this book, it's essentially the devil running just a pawn shop again. It's a story I'm sure you're used to because it's been portrayed in a bunch of different media. There's certain cursed objects, things that are not actually help you, monkey paw type stuff. But it's told so far it's being told in this perspective of somebody coming in after stealing a purse to pawn it away. Well, the devil, it's not really the devil at this point. You don't know. They never give you a name. But he does have Jack the Ripper working for him. It is a shop that exists seemingly outside of space and time. You get to see pretty early on as a lady's looking through the window. She's looking out just into space. As he also talks about, there's not really any time that moves. It could be days, it could be seconds. But it's an excuse to have short, quick horror stories in it. There's two in it: The Rat Ship and Bixby's Miracle Drops. So I guess we can start talking about the rat ship one. If you want to get to your art gripes too.
This is the Twilight Zone, basically. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, and that there are going to be little vignettes in each episode or each book that are going to tell a short story based around this electric black as its center, right? So all the stories are going to emanate from the electric black. This first guy, I keep thinking I'm backwards. So this dude first encounters the electric black. He's not even looking for it. It wasn't there a moment ago. But as soon as he says that he needs to find a pawn shop to get rid of the purse he just snatched from an employee, actually, of the electric black.
I don't think it was an employee. I think it was somebody just visiting.
I don't think so. No, it starts out, the woman is saying she's so bored, they've been there for days, and she is the one that goes out to get supplies or what have you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, need to get a few things, they're going to be expecting some company. She goes out, and this young, I keep saying young tough, this young tough grabs her purse, looks up, and boom, there's the electric black. So he goes in, and the proprietor is offering him a multitude of things. The first thing looks like a sextant from a ship that was the Orion Sky, that was something lifted directly out of Deadliest Catch, one of the greatest TV shows ever made.
Did they also all die to rats in that one?
No, they didn't die of rats. So it's a rat story. The first one's a rat story about they find rats on the ship, they kill the rats, throw them overboard, and then they have a distress call from another ship in the area that is filled with, you guessed it, rats. And the rats take over someone's body, and it's...
Yeah, they respond to like a distress signal in the middle of a storm as they go in to a ship that they believe has passengers that don't speak English. So they go aboard with shotguns immediately.
Yeah,
I'm still a little confused with that. But
the captain, who's a young man, a very young man, that may or may not be respected by the rest of the crew because of his youth, says something along the lines of, it doesn't feel quite right, let's go in armed. Let's get the guns. So apparently they carry guns on board this fishing vessel. And they board this other ship and encounter all the rats. So I got some... I kind of like it. I kind of like it overall, but I got some problems with it.
It's the inconsistencies.
So yeah. So these are two boats in the Bering Sea, which is known for its waves and its storms, and they're crossing from one boat to another with a plank of wood. Yeah, right. And
they do the great decision of course, of always splitting up.
Yeah, split the team up. No, they don't actually. It just happens. It wasn't actually a decision or something.
No,
But so I think the art in this it's sloppy. There's not a lot of effort to it, and there's a lot of inconsistency with frame by frame and panel by panel, such as these two guys here. Look, I am so much bigger than you, and then a page later, we are the same size again. So I like the premise of it. I like the idea of the old knick-knack shop that you're probably going to find a monkey's paw in, and you're going to get cool stories that come out of it that maybe
I mean, the Bigsby Miracle Drop story I did like more, but if you want to go to the art, there's still a part in the rat ship story I want to complain about, which is the last panel, or just the whole last page. When the rats are attacking the other ship that the captain's on, and it ends with the captain being possessed by the rats.
He has little rat eyes in his mouth.
It just feels so hard to follow what's supposed to happen in here.
How do the rats get across from one ship to another?
I assume it's just...
It looks like it's just a giant
It's meant
rat
to be that
flood.
thing of there's so many rats, they just make this huge beam, whatever, that disobeys physics. But, I feel confused as to which ship sunk. And I was confused if a ship sunk even to begin with, because the art kind of fits a style to accept maybe it was just a stylistic choice to have a line there that vaguely looked like a ship.
So yeah, I like the concept. I'm interested to see where it goes. I will be coming back to see where issue 2 takes us. Bixby's Miracle Drops is, the old snake oil salesman who actually discovers something that works and makes you younger, but it might have ties to the dark side of the force.
It makes you younger, it wears off, so you still need it, so it's like a drug, and then it's when having it during the blood moon.
Don't feed them after midnight, and don't get them wet, because if you take the tonic, the drops, during the blood moon, it will make you a very, very bad person. So he doesn't, the Bixby in this doesn't heed the warnings of the old gypsy book that he found. He instead, continues to sell it during the blood moon, and he is beset by zombies. And
the people he sold it to.
Yeah, you think he dies at this point. So they leave you with a little cliffhanger at the end, and that there's something.
After Jack the Ripper decides to kill the man he's been explaining all these stories to.
Yeah. All right, so you got to kind of give it a lot of benefit of the doubt in that it has enough in here to keep you coming back, at least keep me coming back for the second issue, but there's a lot of holes.
Of course, the parts actually in it that I really enjoyed were the rat ship and Bixby's Miracle Drops, whatever.
Look, and here's not Darth Vader ripoff.
Count Dracula Knuckle Duster.
Yes.
But no, like those horror stories that he would tell in it are definitely what makes me enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's more so that story outside of it is kind of just a backdrop or an excuse to tell the stories itself. There have been a lot of anthologies recently. I know there's Silver Coin, Ice Cream Man still going.
Coffee.
All right, you want to talk about the one we didn't like?
Yeah.
So there is.
So this is the United States of Captain America.
It is
Number one.
Not been a very strong first
of
issue.
A 5-issue limited series, and right away, it has a really interesting cover, right? You have the Washington Monument, you have the Capitol building. It wraps around to
a wraparound. Alex Ross, every single Captain America. I love this.
Yeah. But once you open the book, the inside is hot, wet garbage.
The artist change.
It's absolute hot, wet garbage.
Captain America feels like he's as buff as Rob Liefeld would have drawn him.
Yeah, you even haven't. There's even
he's so
large.
Big.
There's even a nod to Rob Liefeld right here, which looks a lot like the infamous Liefeld cover.
We have our opening a monologue about, it's simply Captain America at a point where he's not feeling too good. It's talking about the American dream, things not always really being like that, messages getting construed, things, everything in that nature. And then he's attacked by someone who's dressed as Captain America.
He's lamenting the reality of the American dream versus what is proposed as the American dream. He says that the real American dream doesn't exist, and people are disenfranchised, etc. There's some allusion to, I don't know what this guy's doing right here. No idea, but this person here is collecting Captain America stuff, including Zombie Cap. So there are comments on the current social situation in the United States. There's comments on materialism and commercialism. And then, boom, biggity boom, this guy flies through the window, attacking Captain America. He is dressed as Captain America, looks a lot like Captain America, steals Captain America's shield, and then begins a laugh-a-minute romp through the industrial area with a train and a motorcycle, and Captain America wearing some, it looks like 1940s.
That's a super cop outfit.
Throwback, whatever, super cop outfit. You've got one of my least favorite versions of Falcon. I guess I'm spoiled really by the MCU Falcon,
to be fair,
who I really like.
Seeing this costume design after getting the great one from the show, it feels pretty disappointing.
Well, this whole frame right here, where Falcon is looking off this way, but his goggles are facing this way, is just kind of disconcerting. It threw me for a loop. So it turns out that there are a bunch of Captain Americas, Some of them are doing bad things. Some of them are doing good things. And some of them are wearing pajamas and are extraordinarily alternative, semi-shaved head, piercing.
Well, I very much get the point that it's going for. The imposter cat in America sort of sabotages a train that's going to force another one that's coming down the tracks to crash into it. Cat in America tries to stop it. He starts rescuing people from it, and the only thing he knows is a fake cat in America attacked me. So he sees another kid come out dressed as cat in America, and he wants to immediately apprehend him. And the kid's like, "I'm not who you're after." Falcon agrees.
But the kid explains that there is a whole nation of people like him.
Yeah, it's like a whole. Sorry, go ahead.
Of alternative Captain Americas that are trying to fight the good fight because of the trains are a dangerous place. So there are a bunch of these pseudo Captain Americas that are guarding the people on the train.
Yeah, it's meant to be people who see Captain America and they take up a small, more personal one for them.
Yeah. So the continuity in this is all over the map. It's bad. You don't really understand what the focus of the story is. It seems like a money grab for the 80th anniversary of Cap, of trying to, just make a quick buck on this.
So much of it
the lines that Falcon has in this are really terrible.
It's all just so quick.
And then, but you could call it the worst point in the book or the best point in the book is the "you son of a bitch" Predator ending. Boom. They don't have, they're not doing the bro handshake, but they are doing a really bro-ish handshake. And that, to me, it said "to be continued" at the bottom, and I figured the rest was just ads and stuff. So I quit reading. Josh continued to read. Apparently, it's the backstory of the pajama wearing.
No, yeah. So they have his backstory, running away from home, living on the railroads, finding somebody to love, and then sort of deciding, all right, you know what? You get in a very bad situation. There's a company that rocks on that is just actually kidnapping homeless people and just moves them out to the middle of nowhere to do slave labor. So that's where he ends up because he's snooping around too much in the bad parts of the city. And he decides, all right, these people need some help. So he paints a Captain America shield and then just jumps down and just starts fighting off armed guards from there, who apparently weren't armed with guns. They're about as well armed as the TVA.
It's not Tennessee Valley Authority? It's not pajamas. He's wearing overalls. So he's like an Aggie. So
I hope you understand that you do sell things to Aggie fans.
Right? We have tons of Aggie fans. That's fine, but they do paint overalls and stuff. So
that's the thing. Like, this is essentially just his whole origin story, including his romance, his rise to being a hero. But just like the main part of the story, everything is just going too fast. I know it's only 5 issues, but
that's a really good point.
We have Captain America at this low point, but it doesn't feel like there's any much context besides a monologue that's just himself.
There's nothing that backs that up. Like, he's complaining about the socioeconomic system in the United States, but there's nothing that backs that up other than Cap's own words. And I'm a big fan of Captain America. I love what he stands for, and I like the traditional values that he portrays. And I think that if you're going to challenge that in a book, that there needs to be more thought to it.
It doesn't feel like it's challenging it enough, Yeah. Like, it's not putting up much of an effort to make sure that, like, this is a story or an idea that's going to have a lot of thought and difficulties going through. It feels like it's written like a generic superhero story.
Yeah, I mean, how many superheroes have you seen stop a train? It's done by just about every.
I didn't like it when I saw it in Incredibles 2.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 had a lot of problems though. So I want to like it, but I can't like it.
I do still recommend the main Captain America one coming from Dakotas right now. I like it a lot. It definitely, actually, because it's the mainline Captain America series, it's actually able to cover the topics. This one kind of just brushes over in a really quick sense, and to get to a more let's introduce all these new Captain Americas that we can have in our marketing campaigns now.
Yeah, if you want to If you want to challenge the traditional Cap, let's do it. Sure. I mean, in
my
mind, there are no sacred cows. Sure, challenge it. Make him whatever you see fit, but challenge me. I mean,
I really like Falcon as Captain America. That's the one thing that gets me sad about
you like Sam Wilson, Captain America?
Yeah, I do. But that's the thing that gets me sad is that I feel like we'll never get enough of Sam Wilson because comics got to meet a quota. Captain America has to be Captain America. Like, he can't just be gone and done, you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Because that's the point we're at in the MCU, where he's gone and done. Comics won't let Captain America do that. They'll maybe do an event where for a little bit he's dead, but he's going to come back to life in some way. They've done it like a million times before with every character. So it feels like you're always lacking in terms of getting like this substantial amount of like Captain America, Sam Wilson stuff, or even some Bucky stuff. Because,
See, and I haven't read a lot of it, I guess. I've been watching Falcon Winter Soldier, and I really enjoyed that. I love the writing in that, and the dialogue back and forth between Bucky and Falcon. I think that between Bucky and Sam is.
I think, of course, for any comic to read Captain America, anything from Ed Brubaker is great.
Right.
That he's also the person who essentially created the Winter Soldier, or that whole storyline for being part of the comics. Mm-hmm. But I think that we'll cover all the comics you're going to talk about today. Then
we're going to be doing more of these every week. We're really trying to stick to this Wednesday schedule, and between Josh, Elizabeth, and I, we'll be giving you our opinions. I think that's all I got to say.
All right then. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in and watching.
Cool. I think we got a shipment to unbox, don't we?
We got an unboxing video coming.
All right.
Well, this is going to come up. This is going to be posted after the unboxing video because the unboxing video is live.
Yes, unboxings are live.
All right. Well, goodbye from the future.